The Affordable Care Act works, but the majority of Republicans want to make America sick again.
Make no mistake, Republicans' ACA repeal plans would turn back the clock, leaving millions of Americans just one illness away from bankruptcy.
Republicans have talked about repealing for almost 7 years the Affordable Care Act, but they have no plan for replacement.
Without a plan to replace the ACA, Republicans are openly gambling with the health care of millions.
More than 20 million Americans have benefited from this act, all socioeconomic backgrounds.
I implore my Republican colleagues to remember the people that this decision will impact.
I rise to read a letter from my constituent. We are a family of 4. The company my husband worked for went bankrupt in 2009 after the 2008 financial meltdown. He now owns a small business, and we now get our health care insurance through healthcare.gov. We need you to defend the ACA. We depend on the availability of this insurance option. My son had surgery on December 30th at Fairfax Hospital to remove a brain tumor. His prognosis is good, but I can't imagine how he would manage financially without this health insurance.
Sean and his wife, Jamie, relied on the Affordable Care Act when their son was born prematurely and with a health defect that required surgery.
And said the ACA provided additional health care for my autistic son who had aged out of my employer's health plan. Attempts in the interim to find a health care plan for him were thwarted by insurance companies that did not want to cover him.
I rise today on behalf of Cowis Lowe, a young man from my district who told me about how his life was saved by the Affordable Care Act. When he was just out of college, Cowis was shocked when he was diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. No longer covered by his university, he applied to every type of health insurance he could, but he was denied every single time because of his pre-existing condition. Finally, Cowis got the chemotherapy he needed. He is one of the millions of Americans given the promise of their lives back thanks to the Affordable Care Act.
It is gutless to repeal the law that protected breast cancer survivors like me and up to 129 million Americans with pre-existing conditions.
Repealing the ACA means allowing insurance companies to charge women more, simply for being a woman, and stripping more than 55 million women of free preventative care like birth control and cancer screenings.
If Republicans repeal this law without a viable replacement, there will be real consequences to real people. Let me be clear. By repealing the ACA, Republicans would end health care coverage for millions of families, put the insurance companies back in charge, and yes, make America sick again.